I want to start off by saying it's been absolutely inspiring listening to everyone, and it might almost sound like a broken record today because I come to you with the key for social change. And before I'm completely dismissed as someone who's crazy or someone who's offering something that's unattainable, it's actually something very easy. If all of us just took one improv class, we would be better people. Now, I want to ask everyone out here, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of improv? Fun. Awesome. Jokes. Scared. Whose line is it anyways? So a lot of times we think of it being fun, which it is. We think of jokes. We think of the comedian. We think of the stand-up. Improv is actually all based within communication. It operates under a stringent set of rules. Now, rules in improv, you're thinking, whoa, no, it's all about doing whatever. But it isn't. These rules, they inspire positivity. They allow you to work as a team. You listen better, and you stop fearing failure. So the first rule is this idea of yes and. Now, think of the last time someone offered you an idea. How did you react? As people, we usually end up negating ideas, whether we realize it or not. That word but comes in. Yes, but I can't do it. Yes, but I'm too tired. Yes, but that isn't possible. What if we stop saying but? Now, the idea of yes and happens in improv class. Someone offers a suggestion. The other person says yes, affirms that person, and adds information. Instead of adding obstacles, you're elevating an idea. Now, we can't yes and absolutely everything, but what if we just said it a little more? What if instead of turning down something because we were too tired, too busy, too preoccupied with 6 other things that are going on in our lives, and just did it? How much more adventurous would we be? We all know that person that says, no, absolutely not, that isn't possible immediately. Don't be that person. This idea of listening and responding is huge in improv. We are terrible listeners. This has been proven in other talks before, this idea of storytelling that was mentioned earlier. We need to become better listeners. In my class in the city, I sit and I drill my students in listening. In improv, you start at ground zero. Every tiny bit of information, every verbal and nonverbal, is crucial to creating a scene. You start with nothing, with a stranger in a room full of strangers. So every little bit counts. Now, society is made up of terrible listeners because listening and hearing are 2 completely different things. Improv makes you self-aware of how bad of a listener you actually are. Think about how many times you've gotten in an argument with someone because of something you missed because you weren't listening. Something that could be avoided if we just paid better attention. So with my front row here and with everyone, I just want to run a little activity. I have this photograph or this work up here, and it's an activity that I've done that will really show us how hard it is to listen. So the first person, I can start. I'll say, I see trees. You, what's your name?
Steve.
Steve, nice to meet you, Steve. You'll say, yes, you see trees, and I see whatever else. You'll say, what's your name?
Marie.
Nice to meet you. You'll say, yes, you see whatever Steve says, and I see what you see. Repeating exactly what the person ahead of you has said, not repeating something else that's been said if you're down at the end of the line. And we'll see how this runs. So I'll start. I see trees.
You see trees, and I see the clock tower.
You see the clock tower, and I see a horse.
You see a horse, and I see buildings.
You see a building, I see a carriage.
You see a carriage, and I see people.
Awesome. So easy, but think of how more worried you were about paying attention and everyone in the back really paying attention. Are they repeating what that's being said? Oh, do I see that? You're really focused right here in this moment, which really leads to the next rule, is this idea of teamwork. Now, in improv, you are responsible for everyone else, and they are responsible for you. For some people, that's terrifying. For some people, that's really comforting. In one of my recent classes, I actually had a woman come up to me when she was getting suggestions and said, I'm really nervous. I feel terrible. I've offered my scene partner awful things to do. And then I went and asked him, and I'm like, so how you feeling about all this? What's going on? He said, no, this is great. She gives me stuff. I'm going to give it right back to her. This idea that she offers something, and it's his job to do it. And if he offers something, it's her job to do it, is what's behind teamwork. Everyone always has each other's back. There's no one person standing up there. You are looking out for everyone else. This woman now cares about a grown man that she's never met before and wants to make sure that he doesn't look silly in a classroom full of 10 other people. I hesitate to say that we have that much care for people that we've known for years. So if we just looked out for everyone else just a little bit more, how different would things be? There's also a game I play with every new improv class when I'm trying to get them to think about team. It's called Hotspot. So you have one person standing in the center, and then you have a ring of people around them. The person in the center starts singing a song, any song. Once the ring recognizes that song, they start singing along. If that song inspires something else in that circle around, they'll tap the person in the center out and take their place and start singing a totally new song. Now, you never want to be stuck in the center, clearly. We think we know songs, we don't. We sing along to the music because it's in the background, and then we freeze. But you never want to be stuck in the center, so you never let anyone else be stuck in the center. You're constantly looking out for everyone else. Now, when I explain this game, I'm usually met with looks of terror, and right after that, great success. In a recent class, I had a woman who worked at a major bank come up to me and said she's never felt so supported in life, not even in her job of 8 years, than she did after that game. In improv, everyone has each other's back. This next idea is living in the moment. The most inspiring thing I've ever read is a quote by Tina Fey saying, you can't always be that kid at the top of the water slide looking down. You have to go. And as a self-described type A person, I'm constantly worried about the what next, the what if, what's gonna happen if I do something. So many of us are concerned with what's gonna happen if we do something that we never end up doing anything, and our presence in the present is not clear. But in improv, you're constantly doing. You don't have time to think. You're doing. You don't talk about what you're gonna do because you're too busy doing it. When you're sitting there and getting ready to go up on stage, even in a classroom environment, is just in front of other people, you're just thinking about being present, of being in the moment. The biggest compliment I get from students who, mind you, these are business students, these are teachers, these are educators, these are museum educators, these are archivists that come out. They say it is so freeing just to be and react and respond and not worry about dinner tonight, what's happening next week, what's going on later. I had this amazing email after one class with an art therapist. She said, I went on an online date right after improv class, and I have to recommend it for every single person who is online dating. After I thought up words, starting with the letters J-O-N, I threw myself on the ground and I acted like a valley girl in front of complete strangers. My date was no problem. She finally stopped worrying about what was gonna happen next. What if we all just were more present in the present? Now, I'm not suggesting that we live recklessly. I'm suggesting we practice that in a classroom, in a safe space, and then it bleeds into the real world, in real life. Last one, fail. 90% of improv, true fact, is terrible. It's real bad, real bad. But the reason we love it is because we've got these people who are giving it their all. They're going on stage, they're giving everything they have, and they're daring to fail. Now, when we go into an improv class, failure is celebrated. Great, fail big, fail epically, fail until you succeed, and then keep failing. But if we're constantly worried about never failing, we'll never succeed. In life, as adults, we don't want to lose our jobs. We don't want to make a mistake. We don't want to make someone upset with us, lose a relationship. These catastrophic things that we've associated with failure. In actuality, most failures are just a little embarrassing. It's okay, it happens. So where does all of this lead? Does it lead to a group of people wanting to join an improv troupe, get up on stage, watch whose line is it anyways? Things like that. If it does, great, but that's not my goal. My goal is to inspire social change, to have people care more about other people that they may not know, to have people say yes and be more positive, and to be present, not connected to their phones, not thinking about next week, their work, their job interview, anything, but to be in this moment and to pick up things that are happening now and listen to them. Don't be that kid on the top of the slide. Just do it. Thank you.